Hello Highpoint fans and followers, welcome to a new short video series we like to call Press Process. With these videos, Highpoint staff will show you behind the scenes footage inside the professional shop, or pro shop as we like to call it. We'll share unique processes, challenges, and highlights we've encountered while working with artists to create one-of-a-kind printed editions. Hi everyone, this is Mari from Highpoint Center for Printmaking. Today, as part of our Press Process series, we're going to be showing you some behind-the-scenes videos inside the Highpoint Editions Pro Shop during the creation of Jim Hodges' edition, Bringing in the Ghosts. During an exhibition at the Walker Art Center, Jim Hodges visited Highpoint Editions' studio. In 2013, Walker and Highpoint began a co-publication with the artist, creating a suite of 4 editions that include an incredible range of subtly combined techniques and materials. In this video, we will be highlighting some of the processes we took with Jim Hodges to edition the 4th and final print of the suite, Bringing in the Ghosts. Each print is based on the transition of seasons. Winter Speaks, the first print created for the series, shows Hodges' extensive exploration of the materiality of paper, resulting in a layered experimental work. Olga Vizo, former director at Walker Art Center, noted, "The imagery is evocative of a winter landscape, a familiar sight to Jim on his many visits to Minnesota, as well as his unique language of abstraction." What perhaps may not translate in photograph is just how complex and dimensional Jim's rendering is through the medium of printmaking. Finally conjures the early awakening or emergence of spring through the artist's subtle use of color and material. The soft browns and the rich blacks intermingle on the front of the print, while a nest of gray branches tenuously hold together the dark expanse. On the reverse side of the print, Hodges has printed a lush bouquet of flora and fauna, made visible to the viewer through cutouts inserted across the work's surface. The cutouts reveal glimpses of flowers and butterflies surrounded by blue sky and pale green, like snapshots of windows into another world. Of Summer pushes technical boundaries by incorporating many printmaking traditions: woodblock, intaglio, screen printing, sheen collé, and digital printmaking. Multiple layers of this work are printed on translucent Eastern paper that is then adhered to the main composition. Resembling the reflective surface of water, the layers of delicate paper in combination with the dark blue woodblock and black and gray intaglio add subtle depth and a suggestion of something shadowy below. Light blue screen printing and expertly cut Gampi paper simultaneously veil and expose different portions of the colors beneath. A green pencil drawing transferred onto the incised Gampi layer adds a pop of color and the impression of surrounding nature and flowing abstraction. And Bringing in the Ghosts represents autumn, which is the print we'll be talking about today. Bringing in the Ghosts uses lithography, relief, screen and pigment printing, combined with hand cutting, collage, and metallic foil. These processes lend to suggest the many changes that come with autumn, evoked through its many layered materials and colors. When we first start collaborating with an artist, we like to introduce them to several of the processes we use at the Highpoint Editions studio, unless the artist or some aspect of their work clearly indicates one process over the others. This initial work is closer to play or experimentation, allowing the artist to get a feel for which media speaks to them. In a way, the process can become a collaboration, and it is not unusual for Highpoint artists to mix more than one media, like multiple voices in a single song. This approach perfectly suits Hodges' working style, which is very fluid and open to improvisation. Jim's process is largely intuitive, and thus, for each print we combine various printmaking processes, such as intaglio, sheen collé, and screen printing, as well as hand-cut and folded elements. Early in the development of Bringing in the Ghosts, Hodges sent us a digital printout of a colorful camouflage pattern he created with Pantone swatches attached to it, each marking a color for the 92 different shapes he was hoping to incorporate. Originally, Jim envisioned this colorful camouflage printed from cut wood shapes, but with the amount of solvent needed to clean rollers and blocks each day for the various colors on all 92 shapes, we decided that it would be more environmentally sound to print it photolithographically instead. To stay as close to Jim's original vision as possible, we printed a wood grain pattern in relief with black ink on tissue paper. Jim then cut the printed tissue paper apart and arranged it to match the original pattern. As this pattern was assembled, Highpoint Staff began mixing ink to match the many Pantone colors. We needed enough ink for proofing and editioning. With the goal of an edition of 28 prints, plus BATs, HCs, and artist proofs, we needed a lot of ink. In all, 62 colors were mixed, test printed, and approved by the artist. We always try to keep the ink recipe as simple as possible and try to use the fewest components to mix each color. The mauve you see here is made from a red, yellow, white, and a touch of black. We place the artist-approved ink next to the ink that we were mixing. We then draw down the two side-by-side inks for comparison. We then broke the wood grain camouflage pattern into 14 separate runs using photolithography. These plates were printed with multiple colors for each plate onto a Kozo fiber paper, sometimes employing more than one staff member to apply ink. After printing the lithographic portion using brushed adhesive and various colored foils, Jim began experimenting using metallic foils together with the camouflage pattern. One path of experimentation led him to a brushed foil background on which the camouflage pattern resides. Once his drawing was finished, we translated it to film positives. To edition the background, a sheet of rag paper serving as a backing sheet is digitally printed with a gray ombre. Brush marks are then printed onto the rag paper, and a stamping foil is adhered to the adhesive by running it through our intaglio press. Creases were avoided by carefully keeping the foil from contacting the adhesive until just before pressure is applied. After adhesion, the foil backing is removed with a single smooth motion, which you see here. Later, we learned that removing the backing in a quick motion yields better results. That said, the press was only used for the larger gold and copper brush marks. For smaller shapes, the foil was applied by hand, as seen here for the buff gold, as well for the orange, red, yellow, and bright gold foils. With the foil portion complete and the lithographic sheets dried, we could move on to the next step, adhesion. Before this, we screen printed a transparent gray ombre on the lithographically printed sheets. To the backs of the litho and screen printed sheets, we attach a heat-set archival adhesive. The printed sheets were then carefully cut into strips according to the artist's instructions. Once cut, the 29 strips are attached to the gold foiled backing sheet. Each strip is placed in exactly the same position as the approved proof, using a Mylar guide for registration. With the elements combined, we finish the print by screen printing metallic and colored dots between the lines. In bringing in the ghosts, Hodges utilizes a signature motif suggesting landscape in a rich palette of summer greens, blues, and earth tones that fracture, revealing hints of brightly colored metallic foils breaking through from the back as dots of yellow, gold, bronze, copper, orange, and red appear dancing across the surface. Viewing all four prints together as a complete set, we see how Hodges so beautifully captured the transition and transformation from season to season. While each work is as distinctive as the seasons they conjure, Bringing in the Ghost shares similarities with each print created before it. The greens of trees and pale blues of water in Of Summer have a strong presence in Ghosts, which fade away into the gray and stark white of Winter Speaks and Finally, while the bright golds, yellows, and oranges offer shimmering glimpses of nature's brilliance just before the darkness of winter moves in. Thanks for watching! Don't forget to like and subscribe for more Highpoint Editions videos. We're also on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. Stay tuned for more press process videos where we show you behind the scenes footage into Highpoint Editions Pro Shop.